Good morning, everyone. Good. Oh, it's not morning. It's the middle of the night. My bad. I just woke up. I'm on a weird sleeping schedule now. I slept through the entire afternoon. Andrea let me sleep. I went to bed at like 3 p.m. I feel great. I got 8 hours of sleep. I feel fantastic. I feel marvelous. So it's great to be with you guys. And let's see, we got a lot of people here right now. Let me see. Let me see how many people we got here. We got a few. We got a few for the middle of the night on a Sunday. Black Peugeot is here. Concrete Leopard. These are all. Look at you guys. Simon Oliver. All right. El Gargoyle. You guys are members of the channel, and I appreciate you so much. You guys are fantastic. Chuck LeCuck says Ethan Van Skydiver. I learned my lesson. I've learned by example. I'm never gonna do that. Christian Stoleski says, hey. Good morning, glorious human sunbeam. And I don't think you can get any kinder than that. Eric Weathers is here. Eric Weathers says, how's it going, EVS? Hello, everyone. Eric Weathers, of course, the letterer for almost every Comicsgate comic, an invaluable human being. Eric, you are awesome. We love you. We need you here. Wow, awesome. Just totally awesome. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I spent most of the day hanging out with the family. We did family stuff. I heated up the hot. By the way, it's starting to get nice and cool and crisp. It's kind of autumnal. Is it autumnal out there right now? It's very, very nice. The weather was like 70 degrees, so I actually heated up the spot, and I heated up the pool too. I heated up the water in the pool to like 91 degrees. Andrea said that's too hot. I said I don't know. I don't think so. I think right now it's going to be just perfect. I'm still on my diet, guys. I looked fantastic as I stripped down in the backyard and got into that hot tub. Looked awesome. I look like an Adonis. I look like a Greek god. That's what Andrea said. She didn't say that, but I could tell by the way that she was looking at me that that's how she felt. And it's all because of 4 days of dieting. 4 days of dieting and cutting out caffeine. And I still feel pretty good right now. I feel good because I'm supplementing my caffeine with GNC Mega Men Sport. No, this is not an advertisement. This is just what's on my desk right now. Clinically studied multivitamin, performance, muscle function, and antioxidants. I can work out with this, do a little weightlifting, and also I'm pretty sure it is full of caffeine. I think it is anyway. Time release capsules. 180 of them. Well, that should last a good couple of weeks. Hail Caesar, hail War Campaign, says Israel Garcia. Great to see some war campaigners in here. Hail War Campaign. Hail FP Sunny. And Last Crusader's here too. He says, I was just pulling some light deadlifts and some traps. Get jacked, baby. I'm going to work on it. I've decided I'm going to do it. I'm feeling pretty good. I actually wanted to go out running. It's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I know it's the middle of the night for you, Andrea, but for me, it is morning and I feel like running. She said, you can't run out there. I said, why not? She's like, it's pitch black. You're dressed all in black. You only wear black. And people will run you over. I said, there's no traffic out there. She's like, and there are skunks. There are skunks out there and they'll spray you. I went, sweet Jesus, not a skunk. I wouldn't want to get sprayed by a skunk. I think that might be the worst thing that can happen to me tonight. That'd be the worst thing that could possibly happen to me tonight. So I didn't. It talked me out of running. Skunks talked me, the idea of a skunk talked me out of getting out there and running tonight. All right, so let's start with. Thank you, Victor says, look fucking good, EVS. Thank you so much. By the way, I'm going to endeavor to watch my language. I have had people tell me, Ethan, you're cursing way too much lately. You're cursing a lot more than usual. Is it because of a caffeine deficit? 100%. 100%. I've been very grouchy. Kicking caffeine makes me very, very grouchy. And that's why, reach for this, that's why I'm now taking fish oil supplements. 1,200 milligrams, heart health. Look at this. You will burp less. That's what I'm looking for right now. So I got fish oil. I got fish oil supplements. I got Mega Men Sport. and all of this stuff is going to completely make me jacked. You guys aren't going to recognize me. You're going to say, that's our Uncle Ethan. He used to be jacked, but now he's super jacked. Now he's super Saiyan. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm over 9,000. You better believe it. So I am going to watch my language. I'm going to feel much better when I take these supplements every day. Everything is going to be great. Rusty wants to know if I have super male vitality. I don't. Where can I get that? Where can I take Alex Jones supplements? I need that. I need Alex Jones supplements. So it's good to be here. We got some weirdness today. A lot of people want me to talk about mummies. This show is slowly morphing from pop culture, and it still is pop culture, don't worry. But it's slowly morphing from like just pop culture stuff to mummies. And people like mummy news. There is always mummy news. You just have to search for it. Andrea told me today, she's like, I know because I was looking at mummies. I was actually reading a news story, about a 500-year-old mummy. That's not an old enough mummy for me. It's a 500-year-old mummy. It's a little girl, and her hair is like still braided, and she's holding feathers clutched in her hands. They're like, oh, she's remarkably well preserved. She's not. She's a skull with hair on it. How is that remarkably well preserved for 500 years when we've seen Tutankhamun? We've seen Tutankhamun and his mummified erect wiener. And he's still, I mean, you can, it's, he's still got skin on his face. This was a very disappointing mummy for me. I could show you pictures, but I don't even think so because I don't want to disappoint you guys. I don't want you guys to feel as disappointed as I was when I saw this wonderfully well-preserved 500-year-old mummy of a girl, and it wasn't. It was just, they're like, oh, she's still got some teeth in her lower jaw. Good. Tutankhamun still has a full set of teeth in his head. He looks great. He looks good. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people may ask, they say, well, why were those Egyptians? Why did those Egyptians take such good care of themselves? Why were they so happy? Why were they so optimistic? Yeah, they were just like the little ant that moved the rubber tree plant. Those Egyptians, I don't know how they did it. What, slavery? How did they do it? They built those pyramids, those beautiful pyramids. They built that beautiful Sphinx. They built all this crazy stuff. The rest of the world just looks at them in awe. They're like, how did they do it? How the hell did those Egyptians do all of that great stuff? Well, the answer is very simple. The answer is cocaine, as it turns out. Mysterious cocaine mummies. Do they prove ancient voyages between Egypt and Americas? Now, this is something new. People are learning about this right now. People are learning that the ancient Egyptians actually used cocaine. Now, I'm not saying you should use cocaine at all. At all. I never have. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. In fact, none of my friends do. So I wouldn't say that you should ever use cocaine. Don't. I'm just saying that if you wanted to build pyramids and sphinxes in your backyard or in the desert, maybe this is what you should do. Maybe it would help. It wouldn't hurt. Obviously, it couldn't hurt. Evidence which shows the ancient Egyptians had already crossed the Atlantic 3,000 years ago, long before Columbus. Columbus was a loser, as it turns out. What a loser. Sorry, my Italian friends. But the Egyptians did it first. By the way, look at this mummy. That is a well-preserved mummy. What are you going to tell me? By the way, he's got my hairline. This is going to be me after I take... By the way, this is going to be me in just 2 weeks after... Not dead. I mean, I'll still be alive. But this is going to be what I look like. That's my physique. 2 weeks after taking Mega Men Sports, GNC. I'm losing it all. You guys are going to be like, where's your frog neck? Where's your frog neck? I'll be like, it's gone. Look at my jawline. Look at this guy's jawline. It looks good. That's going to be me, guys, and you're going to be proud of me. You're going to say, wow, Ethan. But your hair, you still... Yeah, your hairline, Ethan. I'll be like, I'm working on that. I'm working on that, too. Put a baseball cap on this mummy. That's me. That's going to be me. If you put a baseball cap on this mummy in 2 weeks, that's going to be me. Except not dead and not taking cocaine. All right. My whole point of this is a well-preserved mummy. Don't show me a skull with 4 teeth in its head and hair on it and say this is a well-preserved mummy. This guy still has skin. This guy's still got a schnoz. This guy's still got lips in his mouth. He's got lips on his, and they're beautiful lips. They're kissable lips. I mean, they're not kissable. FP Sunny says he looks like Fiona Apple. I wasn't going to say that. Scissor Kicker says, dude, when did your hair turn gray? Oh my God, it turned gray just recently. You know, Comicsgate will do that to you. My hair turned silvery white like Hal Jordan. All right, I'm educating you guys tonight. Pay attention. It's the middle of the night. I'm trying to teach you about mummies. I'm trying to teach you about ancient Egypt. I'm trying to teach you about cocaine. Cocaine. Evidence which shows the ancient Egyptians had crossed the Atlantic 3,000 years ago, long before Columbus in 1492, comes not only from the mimicking of cultural traditions as seen in Peru and the Canary Islands, where evidence of trepanning. Do you know what trepanning is? That's where you drill into your skull and scrape the bad parts of the brain away. I've wanted to do that quite a few times. I thought about trepanning after I saw Star Wars The Last Jedi. I consider that as a medical procedure. Scrape the bad parts of the brain away. Scrape the bad parts. The parts where you saw Luke sucking on nipple, Rose Tico. Just turns out it doesn't work. It's a good theory, but it doesn't work. Trepanning and mummification have been found, but from the actual Egyptian mummies themselves. Incredibly, in 1976, Dr. Michel Lescott from the Museum of Natural History in Paris received a sample from the mummified remains of the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses. Ramses the Great. That sounds like a condom brand. Pretty sure that's a condom brand. Ramses the Great to study. Using an electron microscope, she discovered grains of tobacco clinging to the fibers of his bandages. The dude liked to smoke. This initial discovery was berated by the authorities, and her senior colleagues insisted that she had simply observed contamination from modern sources. Like somebody used this mummy for an ashtray. You know. Don't do that. Don't use ancient Egyptian mummies for ashtrays, archaeologists. Don't use them for that. You know, don't use an ancient Egyptian mummy for a humidor, you bastards. You're supposed to be doing science. You're supposed to be doing science on these mummies. Yeah. Mindful Lion wants to know, did they hide cocaine in the mummies? No. No, that's not the case. Some years later, I'm sorry, let me continue reading this. Maybe from some old archaeologists smoking a pipe in the vicinity, that's likely. Or perhaps she had found the traces of a workman's sneeze. Ew. Tobacco first came to Europe from South America during the time of Columbus, 2,700 years later, ruling out the possibility of tobacco being present during the reign of Ramses circa 1213 BC. Some years later, Dr. Svelte, you're going to call me Dr. Svelte. You're going to call me Dr. Svelte after I take GNC's Mega Men Sports. Mega Men Sport for 2 weeks. You'll say, Dr. Svelte? I'll say yes. A forensic toxicologist at the Institute of Forensic Medicine at ULM followed up on Dr. Lescott's findings with yet more intriguing evidence. In order to eliminate the possibility of contemporary contamination, Dr. Balabanova, I'll call you guys Dr. Balabanova if you call me Dr. Svelte, obtained samples of intestinal tissues from deep inside Ramses. Rather than the external layers of skin and cloth, and much to her amazement, she discovered traces of cannabis, coca, and tobacco laid down in his body cells like rings on a tree. And that's going to happen to you guys too if you don't knock it off. Knock it off. Look at this. She's like, yeah. Like right here, you can't see what she's doing, but this is a mirror, and that's a razor blade, if you know what I mean. For her fellow researchers, this still was not enough proof despite her excellent reputation, as such evidence contradicted conventional explanations of intercontinental contact thousands of years in the past. But a decade later in 1992, remember 1992? I graduated high school. 7 ancient Egyptian mummies were flown from the Cairo Museum to Munich for further analysis. And Dr. Balabanova conducted a series of gas chromatography tests on the samples of the 7 mummies, one of which was the mummified remains of Hennet Tao. Wow, the lady of the 2 lands. What a harlot. I was going to say whore, but I thought that would be inappropriate. What a harlot. a priestess who lived sometime during the reign of the 21st century of ancient Egypt, about 1000 BC. Each individual revealed the presence of nicotine and cocaine, everyone. These guys snorted coke. You're wondering how they were so productive. I have to admit. Okay, now I want you guys to look at this mummy again. Held up very well. You know, you can still see the likeness. Now, stop for a second. This is one thing. This is one thing that we do around here. I don't want you to think of this as desiccated human flesh. That's gross. But I do want you to look at this image of a mummy, and I want you to imagine that instead of desiccated human flesh, this is actually chocolate dusted with cocoa powder or cocaine. Okay. And does it look delicious to you? Somebody already cracked into it. It's hollow inside. Oh, I hate that when you get a chocolate bunny and it's hollow. I hate that. It's such a bummer. You see, you've got a big chocolate bunny and it looks big, but then you you go, oh my God, it's only like 2 millimeters thick and it's hollow. That is the biggest ripoff ever. Yeah. None of this is creepy. All of it is science. That is 100% correct, Low Res Boy. Thank you. Lama Giganti says, looks crispy. Looks crispy. The Lady of the Two Lands. That's her right there. That's the Lady of the Two Lands. Holding up wonderfully well. Looking good. Looking good. It may therefore be implied that Egypt obtained these plants in trade with far-flung urbanity from all over the world. Egypt was trading for cocaine. You know? People were thinking, look, South America. South America had all the cocaine. So, I don't know. Did they have beepers back then? I would like to think that a pharaoh could page, pagers, could page somebody in South America. Get their fix. Professor Martin Bernal, a historian at Cornell University, which is where Ann Coulter went, is one of many scholars who conceded that ancient trade links, which vastly predate present calculations, must have existed. We're getting more and more evidence of the world trade at an earlier stage. Besides, he is not alone in this hypothesis. More details of transoceanic contact can be found in my latest book, The Myth of Man. All right, nice little advertisement there. Looks like this is, what is this? This is Enrique of Malacca. Who's Enrique of Malacca? Don't make me read anymore. My brain is already filled. According to historic accounts, it was his personal slave, Enrique of Malacca, who ultimately succeeded where his master had failed. Back in 1519. Ferdinand Magellan. So we're looking at a medieval coke dealer, I think. Timothy Elliott says, can we talk about not mummies? You know what? When I don't talk about mummies, you guys are begging me to talk about mummies. The minute I talk about mummies, you guys are complaining. I can't get it right. I can't satisfy some of you. All you wanted, last week, all you guys wanted was mummy news. And I tried to give you mummy news. And, look, you guys didn't care. You didn't care about mummy news. That's fine. Okay, let us, instead, let's talk. Let's talk about Ms. Marvel. Oh, before we do that, hold on a second. Oh, there's such crap going on right now. From Screen Rant, which, by the way, if you do show a Screen Rant article, they will copyright strike you on YouTube. I found that out. These guys, Screen Rant tried to take me down. I never told anybody this because I thought I'd better keep my mouth shut. But Screen Rant actually did try to take me down. They tried to give me 2 strikes for 2 different articles, and I'm sure they did more than that. But YouTube, thankfully, YouTube realizes how important I am, to society. YouTube realizes that, and so they only let them have, they piled up both of those two strikes into one strike. They said, I'm sorry, Screen Rant, you're not that important. You get one strike. You bastards. All right, so here's what's going on. D23. F you, Screen Rant. I'm just showing your title. Do not copyright strike me, you dickheads. I did it. I cursed. Did I curse? I said F you, though. I said F you. Yeah. I think that's okay. Yeah, B. Allen Orange would never do that, says Wookie Sack of Shit. No, that's why I only use MovieWeb. That is why I only, that's the only reason why I use MovieWeb. B. Allen Orange respects this channel. He knows. B. Allen Orange knows that I've made him a star. The Screen Rant does suck. Here's what happened at D23 this weekend. The MCU. The MCU, which has realized that they can't just keep doing... look, Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man. He was keeping that entire franchise alive. Robert Downey Jr. was the reason to go see any Avengers movie. And, to a lesser extent, Chris, Trump Derangement Syndrome Evans, also the guy who plays the Incredible Hulk, who is also afflicted with Trump Derangement Syndrome. Jeremy Renner, who thankfully doesn't seem to be. Jeremy Renner seems to be a man's man. He seems to be a good gentleman. All these guys are going away. So now what? We get to see how deep Marvel's, how deep their character, their IP pool really is. Can you believe that after you get rid of Avengers, after you get rid of X-Men, they're going to do some X-Men movies, but after you get rid of X-Men, Fantastic Four, all these things, you can't have Spider-Man anymore. What's next? Well, I guess you have to resort to making a She-Hulk movie. So there's going to be a She-Hulk movie. Are they going to call it She-Hulk or are they going to call it The Hulk? Are they going to cuck out and be SJW and just call a She-Hulk movie The Hulk? I'll bet they will. I'll bet they're gonna. Jay Chimpanzee says, Ruffalo is a dope. You're exactly right. I thought you said he's dope at first, but I was glad to see the letter A in between is and dope. Ruffalo is not dope. He is a dope. Thank you, Jay Chimpanzee. Definitely agree with you. This is what we have now. We've got Ms. Marvel. You're making a Ms. Marvel movie. You corrupt sons of bitches. This is incredible. Now, am I right or wrong when I say that Sana Amanat co-created Ms. Marvel? Let me double check that. Sana Amanat. Who was, did she or did she not? Let me double check. Yep, created by Sana Amanat. You guys might not believe me, so let me just show you the Wikipedia. You can always trust Wikipedia. Kamala Khan, a.k.a. Ms. Marvel, who is getting a movie now. Feature film with the MCU, created by Sana Amanat. This is it embezzlement? It's not embezzlement. Is it money laundering? It's something. It's something like that. Imagine if you are the president, whatever it is. Who is Sana Amanat? What is her title? Comic book editor? And she's much more than that. She's an executive. Let me see. Join Marvel Comics. What is her... Who is this person? Here's a picture of her with Barack Obama. She's like, look at this comic book. We put you on this comic book. He's like, that's nice. He's like, I don't read Marvel. It's SJW shit. Get out of my way. So now you know. That's Sana Amanat. Now, Sana Amanat finds her way into Marvel Comics. Okay? Finds her way into Marvel Comics, and then, what are you going to do? Well, the first thing that you do is realize that there's absolutely no money in comics, but there is money in IPs. You are going to co-create a character, and then you are going to insist upon this character with all of your might. Ms. Marvel, one of the worst characters ever created at Marvel Comics, one of the stupidest names, Why does she have an S lightning bolt on her chest? What does the S lightning bolt mean? This is the dumbest design, the worst character. Her powers are that her hands grow. Nobody wants to be Ms. Marvel. This character is horrible. The book is dreadful. The character herself is an ass, is a jerk. She is, a little fascist with terrible power. My hands grow. My hands grow. I'm a little girl, but I get big hands. Now to fight crime. So that's what you do. So you get into Marvel Comics, you create a character, you insist on this character, and then you push that character on the MCU. Why? Well, Sana Amanat is bound to receive a 7-figure paycheck. That's what being in power gets you. 7-figure paycheck for getting a Ms. Marvel movie done at Disney. Here's your share. How do I know it's 7 figures? Because I told you guys. The Justice League movie, which didn't even make any... Justice League movie was a bomb, considerably. All they did was mention Iron Heights Prison in the Justice League movie. All they did was mention Iron Heights once. They showed it, I guess, from the inside. And I received a check for $98,000 for that. This is why people go, why do you call it Comic Artist Pro Secrets? Because I actually tell you real stuff that other people don't know. So if I received a check for $98,000, almost $100,000, okay, let's just call it $100,000. It's basically a 6-figure check for having Flash Iron Heights, for having Iron Heights mentioned in the Justice League movie. What do you think this woman... Oops, wrong image. That's for later. What do you think this woman standing with Obama with a picture that I already lost, I already threw it away, is going to receive for having an entire movie made of her terrible character? What do you think she's going to receive? Yes. Hey, Mike. So, that's the situation, guys. That's why this is happening. This is pure corruption. This character is so far down the list of characters who deserve a movie at this point. There are 28,000 characters at Marvel Comics who have been around, who were created by Stan and Jack or Steve Ditko, who deserve movies before Ms. Marvel does. But you have to understand one thing. You've got someone in power here who already planned this out. You want to know why Ms. Marvel is around? You want to know why Ms. Marvel is still being published despite being profoundly rejected by almost everyone? It is an enormous SJW conspiracy. Enormous. First and foremost, you've got SJWs working for Scholastic and within the library system that sit there and say, if you can actually do comics that sort of match our agenda, we want a Muslim superhero girl. We will pre-order and purchase using government funds, using your tax dollars, your local tax dollars for your library. We will use that money to pre-order and purchase a large number of trade paperbacks based on these characters. So keep the characters in print because customers aren't going to buy these books. Libraries are. So you've got SJWs who are actually organizing. You've got SJWs who are actually organizing a way and a means for these SJW comics to exist, for them to be profitable. You'll see people bragging about, you'll see Marvel Comics SJWs bragging about how well Ms. Marvel sells. Have you ever met someone who reads Ms. Marvel for real and not ironically? No. They're in the libraries. They're in Scholastic book trucks. That's how this works. It's all an enormous scam. Why does Ms. Marvel persist beyond that? Because someone very powerful at Marvel Comics created this character specifically so that it could become an IP at the biggest entertainment conglomerate in the world. We're talking about millions of dollars. right in someone's pocket. If that isn't corruption, you've got someone actually controlling at the highest level, controlling the levers of power, deciding which characters, which IPs are going to be made into feature films that make $1 billion. If Captain Marvel is anything to go by. Corrupt, 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 corrupt. Okay? Moon Knight deserves a movie, sure, or a TV show, I guess. She-Hulk might. These are further down the list. These are D-list characters, as far as I'm concerned. Ms. Marvel is Z-list. Ms. Marvel is a Z-list character that exists through sheer willpower. They insist on Ms. Marvel existing. Why? For this reason. And they're going to hand this character over to Bob Iger or Kevin Feige, and they're going to say, make this character make sense. Make this character resonate with the American people like you did the, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, allegedly. Comic Artist Pro. Secrets. So that's the scam behind this. Just so you guys understand, that is the scam. Why? These comics aren't selling. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. And you're paying for them. You're paying for them. In part. Libraries also receive money from donations and grants. But for the most part, you are paying for them. Local tax dollars. That's so stupid. Oh my God. All right, so we've got a Ms. Marvel show coming up. And Data Racer. Data Racer 117 is on it. He is on it. I love Data Racer. I love it. How you guys liking the show right now? Is this good? Is this good, informative stuff? If you like this show, give me, hit 1. If you hate this show, chat, if you hate this show and you're not interested in hearing the truth about all of this shit, give me a 2. But if you like it, let me see a 1. And also click thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up in that chat. It's the least you guys can do. I'm up all night. The world isn't right. The world isn't fair. The world isn't right. Now we got to have a super team to fight this evil. To crush this evil. The evil. Yeah. Ace of Spades. It's the left funneling money to other leftists. That's 100% correct, guys. Llama Gigante still wants more mummy content. I'm sorry, I told you. I'm willing to talk about mummies. Some people are not willing to listen. All right, people want me to read some super chats before I go into this second segment here. I'm happy to do that. Let me read some super chats. Thank you guys for sending them. I definitely appreciate you. Wow, the chat's flying with number ones. Thank you guys. I hear you loud and clear. People say, Ethan, talk about comics more. I'll talk about comics. Talk about the way it actually works. The problem is so many comic skaters, they didn't work in comics. They're guessing. Some of these articles that they write are people who are guessing. SSJ Future Gohan says, my buddy's wife made blueberry pie tonight. I almost ate it with my bare hands for you, EVS, but the ice cream made me use a fork. I let you down. God damn it. I want blueberry pie and ice cream. For goodness sakes. White Wolves, I said for goodness sakes again. I gotta stop saying that. Yeah. That's like Umbrella Guy saying, and on. Umbrella Guy's got a bunch of quirks that he says too. All right, I'm going to try to not say for goodness sakes, for goodness sakes. All right, White Wolf says, now we know how the Sphinx lost its nose. Bing, gray point, cocaine. The answer is cocaine, okay? The Sphinx's nose fell right off. All right, Al M, thanks for $2. Or is it AIM? I'm never really sure. I think it's Al M. Unhinged Crank says Jack Black or Parker Posey as Moon Knight. Ooh, these are good questions here. Who would I think would play Moon Knight? I don't know. Bruce Jenner? No, I'm not. Sorry, not Bruce Jenner. What's Bruce Jenner's name now? RennieFlex01 says, Uncle E, why don't you like Mark Ruffalo? I'm not familiar with much idiocy propagated from his brain. What say ye, Uncle E? What did I miss? Mark Ruffalo is a great big male feminist, SJW. And you can see that on his Twitter. He did wear a pink pussy hat once. And he is very, very anti-Trump. And that's sad. Richard Tisdale says, EVS, I mean, don't you think just maybe Kevin Feige will do X-Men justice? He said he would give Cyclops justice, and Cyclops is a cis white male as they come. There is hope. P.S. Maddox lost. Hashtag Maddox lost. He did lose. Dick is the winner. No, I think Kevin Feige will do X-Men justice. I'm just bored of it. I don't know about you, but I've seen enough X-Men movies. You know, I feel like I've seen tons of X-Men movies. I don't know if I want to see any more. You know, I mean, I'll give it a shot, you know, but it's like it feels like they ran that franchise into the ground. You know, my opinion. Jason Smoot says, who goes to libraries anymore besides homeless people? Your boy Zach actually said to me, he said, you don't know what it's like to be poor, or I think he meant you've forgotten what it's like to be poor, because I certainly know what it's like to be poor. I grew up like impoverished beyond belief. And I went to libraries all the time to take out books on how to sell my soul to the devil in order to become a werewolf. I've told you guys that. My local public library had all these books on the occult, and I would read them. I was like 10, 12 years old, trying to learn how to become a werewolf. John Malin has a theory about that, you know, but I wouldn't have gone that far, you know. Individualist says, so Uncle E, what you are saying is that SJW Marvel Comics is a government welfare program. Now I understand all the cringe. 1 thumbs up. Thank you, Individualist. Yes, that is correct. They are, at this point, they are actually welfare leeches. Marvel Comics, welfare queens. Stealing from... Where are they getting their funding from? Oh, my God. Yeah, that's exactly right. People do go to libraries. Poor people go to libraries. Your boy Zach says he would go to libraries when he was broke and he would read comics there. So, you know, that's a thing. That's a real thing. Unhinged Crank says tonight's show is better than usual. Well, thank you. I'm feeling pretty good. John Moriarty says, EVS, will you please say happy birthday, Kim? I will. Happy birthday, Kim. Happy birthday. And you're welcome. Vince Garrett says, is Ms. Marvel the daughter of Cockknocker? I don't know. Get down, demon. Hail Caesar, Lord of the Morning. Hail War Campaign. RE6 says, hail Pharaoh. Finally ordered my copy of Robotoad. Well, thank you. It's still not, I think it's still up. You know, I figured maybe it's because it's the weekend. But I shut it down 5 times. And they keep saying, thank you. Somebody will be in touch with you. Don't try to talk me out of it, Indiegogo. Just take it down. Michael Ludwig says, what you just said about Ms. Marvel should be a video on its own to spread the news. This needs to be public. Well, I think I've done a video about it before. You know. Titus Moeller, who are your absolute favorite Marvel and DC characters? My favorite Marvel characters are the Fantastic Four and Green Goblin. My favorite DC characters are, I guess, the Green Lantern Corps. And Plastic Man. I like the Flash too. Viperist69 says, only thing I'm interested in... Oh, no, Marvel is the Hulk and Ghost Rider too. I like a lot more Marvel characters than I do DC characters, ironically. You know, I love Ghost Rider. I told Andrew, I was like, I want a Ghost Rider #1 so bad. You know, it's not the first appearance of Ghost Rider, but the Ghost Rider #1 from the 1970s. And I just said that to her, and she went on all the yard sale websites. And she found me a copy and left it on my desk with a note, you know. It was a nice note. How nice is that, you know? Does your wife do that for you? Does your wife buy you Ghost Rider comics and leave you notes on your desk that say, I love you, while you're asleep? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Titus Muller. All right, so Viperist69 says, the only thing I'm interested in seeing is who they get to play Kamala Khan. Seeing as how she looks like a white woman caked in fake tan in the comics. LOL. You know who they're going to get? They're going to get Mindy from, what's that show? The Mindy Show. They're going to get Mindy to play Kamala Khan, from what I hear. It's actually pretty good casting. Renaflex01 says, thank you, Uncle E. Your answer was very concise and to the point regarding Mark Ruffalo. For your information, I stay away from Twitter like the plague, so that explains that. Yeah, you wouldn't know, I mean, unless you follow these people on social media. That is the problem. Obi-Wan 27883. By the way, I keep this little love note from Andrew on my desk at all times. I'm so corny. But yeah, that meant so much to me that I was just like, aw, you know, what a good girl. Obi-Wan says, Hail Caesar, thank you for the birthday wishes last night. Wish you could have been here for the party and Cards Against Humanity game. Yeah, Jeff, Hicks, and Jesse, everybody was out celebrating Obi-Wan's birthday somewhere. I don't know where, but I tuned in and they were having fun and drunk as usual. Looked like a good time. Unhinged Crank says, Human Torch and Iceman, the Torch and the Flamer. Great Loner says, how much to commission a drawing of Venom biting off Captain Marvel's head? I don't know. That'd be funny though. All right, so we got the super chats, and thank you for the super chats. I definitely appreciate them. Oh yeah, Mr. Dystopian says Mia Khalifa should probably play. Mia Khalifa should probably play that role. It's possible. I can see that happening. I can picture that. All right, so Marvel announced Beitia K Ali is writing Ms. Marvel for Disney Plus. She has now locked her Twitter account and has deleted 5,000 tweets recently. What is she hiding? What do you think she's hiding? Why do people do that? People deleting 5,000 tweets. I mean, that looks bad. It doesn't look good to delete 5,000 tweets. Replies to her deleted tweets seem to be bashing quote-unquote white people. Where there's smoke, there's fire. The MCU is hiring more SJWs. You tell them, Data Racer. Here's the MCU Direct. Writer Beitia K Ali will reportedly be the showrunner. Pleasant. She looks like a lot of fun to be around. And a great big comic book fan. Live action Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series. So this is the news, and we find out this account's tweets are protected. Why? Because, oh my goodness. Let's see. Beitia K Ali on Twitter. Here's some evidence. Dump them. I don't know what that is. Beitia K on Ali Twitter. People could use their energy for I guess this is evidence of past tweets. Here she is saying, not interested in the voices demanding empathy for fascists on the receiving end of milkshakes. Can you get some normal people to write your superhero comics, Marvel? I understand that it's not about the comics. I understand it's not really about entertaining anyone anymore. But can you please get some normal people? Can you please get some normal people? For God's sake. I'm not interested in the voices demanding empathy for fascists on the receiving end of milkshakes. They literally recycled Nazi propaganda, and you're out here worried for their lactose intolerance? Oh my God. I can't curse anymore. I can't curse anymore. What do I do? How do I deal with this without using the F word? Holy cow, I'm in real trouble. I'm in real trouble as I learn to clean up my language for the sake of my YouTube channel and my audience of children who I'm trying to instruct in the ways of righteousness and, you know, a real purpose in comic artist pro secrets. How do I respond without the F word? Beitia K Ali says, we're a country that voted for a campaign that used clearly racist Islamophobic imagery in its campaign and throughout. Our MPs blocked taking in brown children fleeing war. We don't need a poll. As if you need to do a poll to know that the majority of a country built on centuries of violence on black and brown bodies is racist. As, period, if, period. SJW clueless here. Flibberty gibbet, somebody says. Flibberty gibbet is a good word. Flibberty gibbet. Wilberforce Wooster says, it's late night. You don't need to clean up your language. Oh, yes, I do. People will watch this tomorrow. It's very important. True Blue American says, frack. Say frack. It's swearing, but it's not really. Yeah, I could be like Lobo and start calling people bastiches. You know. Fake curse words. Jason Smoot says, what are the chances we will see a Midnight Suns in a movie or show? Well, I would love to see them clean up Ghost Rider, you know, and actually make that work. Jay Leno is envious of that chin, says genius Adrian Stone. I don't disagree. Boris Johnson is not accident prone, nor does he make, look, all caps, anti-comics right here. Boris Johnson is not accident prone, nor does he make gaffes. He is the product of an elitist, racist dogshit system that has made him an actual cobweb. He is a cobweb made of flesh. So this is the person who's going to be writing your superhero show for little girls. This is going to be the person who is actually writing and controlling. You know, your little girls are meant to tune in to, Disney Plus. They're going to get to see the Ms. Marvel show, I guess. It's going to make Sana Amanat rich beyond her wildest dreams, whether it fails or succeeds. This is just a quick way to extract an enormous sum of money from Disney. G. Willow Willison also is going to get a big fat paycheck or two. Imagine this. This person is making the cartoons or live action TV shows about superheroes for your little girls. Sit in front of this TV. My 8-year-old daughter. I don't know how, I got a 3-year-old daughter. Sit in front of this TV and let's watch a show about a superhero girl. She's a heroic girl who tweets out, and by the way, the person who's writing it tweets out shit like this. Not interested in voices demanding empathy. So that's redundant. For fascists on the receiving end of milkshakes. I can throw milkshakes at whoever I want. It looks like you're throwing them mostly down your own throat, Beitia. No offense. No offense. If I am a fascist and you have a milkshake in your hand, I'm not really worried about you letting go of that thing at me. Not really concerned. I'm guessing the odds are that milkshake is going in your mouth. Okay? I feel safe. I feel safe. They literally recycled Nazi propaganda. Hey, I'm all for recycling. I got my recycling cans right out front. It's recycling day. That's what I do. And you're out here worried for their lactose intolerance? Their lactose intolerance? There's a 4chan joke about that I will not make. We're a country that voted for a campaign that used clearly racist, Islamophobic imagery in its campaign and throughout. I didn't see any of that. And I was looking really hard. And I didn't see it. And I was studying it. I'm like, where's the Islamophobia, Mr. Future President? I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Our MPs block taking in brown children fleeing war. We don't need a poll. As if you need to do a poll to know that the majority of a country built on centuries of violence on black and brown bodies is racist. As if Boris Johnson is not accident prone, nor does he make gaffes. He is the product of an elitist, racist, dog shit system. This is where she gets Chuck Wendigian. Wendigian. She gets Chuck Wendig-esque. As soon as you start talking about shit in all caps, that's when you're becoming Chuck Wendig. You are become Wendig. You are Chuck Wendig, inherent in soul embody Super Saiyan Chuck Wendig. That has made him an actual cobweb. What's a cobweb? He has the cobweb made flesh. All right, I don't know what the hell that means. I'm glad I don't. Now, here are all the responses. You want to talk about cult cult leader bullshit. These are all the responses, the crazy, hateful responses to the things that she is saying. And by the way, interestingly enough, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. No, we're gonna do it right now. Interestingly enough, Mindy Kaling, who is probably playing the role of Ms. Marvel, responds to one of her tweets. I think that's the only natural solution. All white cast terrorized by all white zombies. Everything's white, 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 wiggity, wiggity, white. Yeah, but all the white people voices, though. I second that, says this chubby, ridiculous human being. I second that, says feminist ally Neckbeard. And by the way, I hate white people. Hashtag white genocide. Sorry about white people. Not that it helps, says this gay rollerblader. This guy's a gay rollerblader. Obviously, he's a Rainbow Brute fan. He's got a rainbow flag. He's looking forward to Rainbow the Brute. How many of you are looking forward to Rainbow the Brute? Let's give it up for that. Because that's what that means. When you put the rainbow flag in there, it means hooray for Rainbow the Brute. What white people shit is this? Says Mixtress Dread. Here's this guy with his eyebrows raised. Literally, in actual Japan, and right now, there are so many white people here. It's bonkers. There are white people in Japan. What the fuck? Oop, almost said it. Almost said it. I didn't, though. I didn't say it. She attacked white people, and you defended her, and I'm the bigot for calling her out. Makes complete sense. This guy actually does make sense. He's like, what the hell's the matter with you? Sorry that white people are so weird and invasive. Low-key wanting you to start preaching the book of fart jokes at him, though. Nothing makes me feel better than blasting the Hell Knight's guts out of its back with a shotgun and then punching its head off. Honestly, I prefer a candy bar. No. And here it is. I mean, you'll see her tweets here. This is her this is her social blade. You can actually see when somebody dumps tweets, which is pretty interesting. You can't, for example, you can't say to someone, oh, hey, I dump all my tweets every 3 months. I erase all my tweets every 3 months, don't you know? Because if that were true, you'd be able to go back and look at, and you'd see dump, 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 dump. But what you end up seeing when people say, I dump my tweets or I erase my tweets every 3 months, is you don't see that, and you just see one time. And you see it one time after one suspicious, because you can see kind of where it happened here. See, July 2019, you can see, ba-boom, like this. Instant tweet dumping, 5,000 plus tweets that she has deleted. You see what I'm saying? 5,000 tweets deleted at once. Monthly tweets, boom. She's protected now. She's hiding her racism. She is hiding her mental illness. Why? Because she's working for Disney now. I mean, she's officially working for Disney on a big project. She saw what happens. You know. So, I mean, this is the thing. You can't, let me just say it again. You can't say, hey, I erased my tweets. I erase my tweets every 3 months. And then you go back and you look at Social Blade and you see that you don't erase your tweets every 3 months. You only did it once. So are you planning on doing it every 3 months in the future, starting now, or what? See what I'm saying? That's what Social Blade is for. Social Blade actually brings the truth out about things like that. It's important. Thank goodness for Social Blade. So that is the situation. Oh my goodness, guys. That's where we are. That's where we stand. We got the Ms. Marvel show. We got the Ms. Marvel show. Being put together by lunatics, of course. Crazy people. Sin0100 says, you're trying to make sense of racist leftists. They are the real bigots. They are the ones attacking people in the streets, and the cowards wear masks when they do it. I know that. I'm thinking about going, honestly, guys, I'm thinking about going up to Pittman, New Jersey next week and just doing a report. I want to actually see Antifa. First, I got to go see Hall & Oates. Say it isn't so. No. Private eyes are watching you, watching your every move. I'm going to go see that show on the 30th in Atlantic City. I told Andrea I'm not going to gamble. She said, what? She said, are you feeling all right? I was like, I'm not going to gamble. I lost $500 last time. So I'm not going to gamble. And she said, why? I'm like, I'm not feeling lucky. I'm not feeling particularly lucky right now. You know, I'm not feeling lucky. Certainly my Vampirella #1 red foil variant, only available on Indiegogo, is doing very well. And if you haven't bought it yet, it's linked below. It's linked below in the description. You could absolutely go buy a copy of Vampirella #1 red foil variant. And that would make me feel a little bit more lucky. But lucky enough to gamble at play blackjack again before going to see Hall & Oates? I'm only there to see Oates. I like Oates. She said, I can't believe it. I don't believe you're not going to gamble. Well, we'll see. You know, we'll see about that. Yeah, we got some more crazy stuff going on here. Let's take a look at this nonsense. All right, so many of you, I think you guys saw the there's nothing I love more as an artist than the schadenfreude of somebody being caught, of an artist getting caught being a swiper. You know what a swiper is? A swiper is someone that steals art from an easily recognizable source or another artist and tries to pass it off as his own. I love that. I absolutely love it. Here's why I love it. People work so hard. People like me work so hard to actually generate art of their own. Cecil's here. He says, you like oats because you're a farm animal. Well, I mean, you know, that stands to reason. Jason Smoot, thanks for $20. Wow, he says, deleting tweets. It's almost like we've seen this before from Disney Cats. And freak yes, see Hall & Oates. I'll bring you guys there. Don't you worry. We're all going to see Hall & Oates together. I'm going to go live. We're in the front row this time, guys. Front row. Hall & Oates. You and me at Hall & Oates. And Andrea. She's going to be there too. We always do our hello. You know, Andrea doesn't really come on camera very much, but when I get a couple of drinks in her, you know, at a concert, we're having a good time. She's feeling good. She's excited about the show. I'll go live right before the show starts, and your Aunt Andrea does say hello to you. She's done it. She did it at Frankie Valley a couple of weeks ago. She'll do it again for this show. You know, we'll all hang out. It's a very, very family atmosphere. You know. It's going to be a good time. Well, we've got 1,839 people watching. 1 a.m. on a Sunday evening. Or early Monday morning. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, I love it. I love watching people get caught swiping. It's embarrassing. There have been instances in the past. Look, Bleeding Cool used to be cool. Bleeding Cool actually used to do something called Swipe File, where they would go in and they would catch people swiping from other people's art. Now, here are the rules. There are a lot of unspoken rules for comic book artists. You can copy photographs if you want to, as long as they're not famous photographs. Like, you wouldn't want to copy, like, Pulitzer Prize winning photographs. But you can, you know, I do it all the time. Like, if I need a background, I'll find a good background picture and I'll print it out and I might trace it into the background. Cars are notoriously difficult to draw from scratch. A lot of people these days use SketchUp, you know, and they use modeling tools on the internet, on Google, to like get the car they want. I don't do that. I got no time for that. I will most often just trace a car. There's no reason to sit there and try to like draw it from a block and whittle it down and try to get all the curves right. It's ridiculous. It takes way too much time. Most of the time, just tracing a car, if it's a background item and not a main character, meaning it's not, the main image on there, it's just in the background, just trace it. That's all fine and good. What isn't good is when you take entire drawings from other people's comic books and copy them. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing when anything that you put into your comic book, for example, was borrowed from, let's say, a toy. It's not so great. This is what everyone's laughing at right now, and I gotta admit, I think this is so funny. I thoroughly enjoy this. This is a no-no. This is so embarrassing. How did Lucasfilm go from Drew Struzan to this? How the hell? Let me explain what's going on here. Somebody realized that a lot of people were looking at this poster and saying, why is it so cartoony looking? Why does it look so weird? Why does it look so cartoony and weird? This image here, of course, looks a little bit goofy. It's like it looks cartoonish. It looks almost like, it looks like a Disney thing. It does kind of look Disney-esque. It's this image in the background that was bothering people. It looks weird. Why? And then somebody kind of pushed back they did a little filter on it. They pulled out the Emperor from this because there was some question. Is this Luke Skywalker? Is this meant to be someone else? Is there a secret to this? Is it not really Palpatine? No, it's Palpatine, and it's this. It's this image of the hot toy action figure of Emperor Palpatine that this artist actually took and ran it through a filter and put it in the background of a gosh darn Star Wars poster. This is the most ridiculous, lazy garbage that I have ever seen. This would be suspect. This would be cause for mockery if it was on a comic book cover. If this were a Star Wars comic book. And things like this will happen all the time. The comic book industry is going to be much cheesier. Much cheesier than Lucasfilm and Disney should be. Who is the rapscallion? Who is the jackanape? Who is the mooncalf? Who is the lollygagger? See, I'm coming up with new words instead of curses. Who actually took a hot toy, and it is the hot toy, because look, you can match up the wrinkles for the wrinkles. Like you see this line right here, you can see that line reflected here. You see this little piece in the forehead here, that's right here. You can see all the line for line, it matches up with the hot toy. This is a 12-inch action figure. So stupid. This is so stupid. If you think that Disney has completely run off the rails at this point, just give me a 1 in the chat. I mean, if you think Disney sucks a banana, give me a 1 in the chat for this. This is absolutely crazy. It isn't just lazy, it's theft. It's pathetic. Any artist could have drawn Palpatine. I can draw Palpatine. I don't need this. Disney is over with. This is so embarrassing. Trying to keep my language clean. 1 in the chat. I got to hear from you guys. Death rattle of late stage capitalism, garbage in, garbage out, says Dr. Meatball. This is absolutely pathetic. Pathetic. But it's not unique. I mean, it is unique no, let me take that back. It's unique. This is the last chapter of Star Wars. This is a Star Wars movie. This is the last chapter of a Star Wars movie, and this is the movie poster? You idiots. Who got this job? Sana Amanat? Who got this job? Who are the lazy, carpetbagging sons of flea-dipped curs that got this job and did this, produced this work, and we're supposed to go see this movie. We're supposed to not just continue laughing in the face of these fakers, these charlatans who are pretending to ride, who are pretending to continue on the legacy of Star Wars, but are simply riding its corpse into the ground. And every day, more evidence of their cheese, their just garbage cheesiness emerges. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. How embarrassing is this? As an artist, how embarrassing is this? You idiots. How could you let this out? And of course, many of you, I already spilled this joke, but I might as well just do it anyway. Many of you may have noticed that the thing that they're riding on was also stolen from something photo referenced. You know, right there. Turn it on the side. Hey, Mike. Now you can see. You can't. You can't just do this. They're literally, by the way, this is literally a penis. You see it now? This is literally a wiener that they're fighting on. She's like, this is mine. This thing that I envy belongs to me. Get off of it, toxic masculinity oppressor. Get off of this penis. This belongs to us now. This is us. Sisters are doing it for ourselves. We've got the penis ground now. Horrendous. This is where it all leads to. You understand? That's what this movie is about. That's what it's suggesting. Fighting for the phallus. Star Wars, the rise of what? The rise of what? The rise of this. That's what it is. This is shocking. This is absolutely shocking. People are saying Ethan won't cuss, but he will show penises. Look, if that's in your own mind. That's just first of all, that's just a piece of the Death Star, and that is a mountain. It's a rock formation. If you see a penis in there, that's just that's what subliminal messaging does, everyone. It's just what it does. Dun 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 dun. Oh, but Star Wars swipes. I mean, they swipe all the time. Here is this is pretty amusing. Another picture of an action figure. Worked into the front cover of a novel. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. Death Rattle says, everybody Wang Chung tonight. How embarrassing. Let me take the image from an action figure box of Han Solo. Something that so many people looked at. And let me just put it on my novel cover here as well. It happens. It happens. People need photo reference, I guess you could do this. This doesn't bother me that much. I don't know, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? So that is that's the state of Star Wars right now. That's the state of the MCU. Are you guys looking forward to Ms. Marvel? Are you looking forward to Moon Knight? Let me read some super chats. Thank you guys. Wow, a lot of super chats. Thank you. Wow, you do a good job and people send you money. You entertain people, people send you money. Imagine that. Imagine that, Disney. Imagine that, Marvel Comics. Imagine that. All right. Let's see. Dark and Grammane says you could use frog instead of the F word. I would never do that. I would never use frog as a curse word. Frogs are wonderful. Moizar says, what are your thoughts on the Mandalorian trailer? I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I watched it 3 times. I watched it twice on a stream and was blown away by it. Very excited about the Mandalorian. It looks like I'm praying it doesn't let us down. Cecil says Chuck Wendig ghostwrites her tweets. That's what it seems like, Cecil. Mike Lombardo says, hey, EVS, could you turn your volume up a little, please? I don't know how to do it. I'll have to ask Adrian Stone. Because I'm still, OBS is new to me, and I'm still, like, step-by-step everything. I hope you guys like the way the show looks. I think the show looks much, much better now. Yeah, I'm still learning how to use the use everything. So I don't know how to change the volume any more than this. I've got it turned up. I've got it cranked up all the way, as far as I can say. Moizar says, hey, Uncle... Oh, I read that one. Oh, no, you asked me twice. Moizar says, hey, Uncle E, what are your thoughts on the Mandalorian trailer? Much love from Canada. Thank you. It's returned from New Jersey, Moise. Thank you so much. Individualist says, the Arabs are responsible for the slave trade. Britain is responsible for ending it. Sick of Western bigotry, justified by the Islamophobe label. Titus Moeller says, before Fantastic Four and X-Men, you think Feige could just be paying SJW dues with these out there projects in a phase always likely to be a letdown after Endgame? Yeah, in a way. I think, honestly, everyone is... All of these... It's almost like mob tactics. These people are just jumping on this. Kevin Feige worked so hard. Those guys worked so hard. Those guys worked so hard to build up the MCU and make it into what it is right now. Right now, it just cranks out billion-dollar movies like potato chips. I mean, it's fantastic. So, of course, the SJWs come. Of course, the feminists come in. Of course, the weirdos come in. What they do is they find successful platforms and they come in and they try to guilt and shame the people responsible for building them, and then they take them over for their own benefit. And that is what's happening here. I just want you to understand. When you see a Ms. Marvel movie, you're looking at a huge payday for a bunch of, SJW Muslim activists. And that is what it is. They are robbing Disney with their terrible character and essentially saying, hey, take this character and make it into something good and pay us for it. We created a horrible character. We are going to guilt you into and use our power in order to make you make something of this character and pay us for it. You make it good. It is shameful. It's absolutely shameful. That is what's going on. And Kevin Feige is probably going, well, I can work around this in order to do what I want to do. What is it that I want to do? Well, I want to do Spider-Man, but evidently I can't do Spider-Man. They're not going to let me. So, Fantastic Four and X-Men. Loch Ness Yoshi says their hatred only emboldens us. Yeah, it gives me a little tickle in my heart. It makes me happy because they're such awful people. If these awful people are saying such crazy things about us, what does that mean about us? I think it means that we're probably the good guys. I think it means we're probably the good guys here. Richard Tisdale says, is there not an internet autist out there with screenshots of her tweets? I'm sure they're on the job as we speak. We'll see. Jason Smoot. I read that one. And thank you for $20, Jason Smoot. That's great. I will buy drinks with that. Fusebox says, Outlaw Nights comes to Indiegogo on September 24th. Check out our email list and my Twitter. YouTube channel, Fusebox. Sorry, I had to. Well, you're happy to, I'm happy to read out your shout out. Sure. Cecil says, didn't the Solo posters get busted too? They sure did. Those were also, and I should have had those up as an example, but I feel like I made a video about those way back when. But yeah, the initial photos for the initial posters for the Solo movie were also stolen. They were also swiped from some guy who was making jazz CD covers, and they actually stole. It's outrageous, absolutely outrageous. These people they don't have a creative bone in their body. Downshift says, how embarrassing is my new favorite put down. Yeah, I got that from Nick Ricada. I like it a lot. Indie says, why spend for good art for a movie that will bomb? I think everything goes hand in hand. I really do feel like, you're signaling to people. You're signaling to people that this is garbage and you don't care about it. When you're putting out a movie poster like that, it may seem like a small thing. But you are sending a signal to people that this is not quality. This is not something that you cared about. This is not something that you hired good people to do. Where is Drew Struzan? Why wouldn't he do this poster? Ryan Magus says, I love Hall & Oates. It always makes me happy to see you and Auntie having a good time. I try to take my girl out to shows also, but places just don't have respect for farm-themed inflatables. Hashtag gatekeepers. Yeah, we'll have a good time together. We'll choose a song. You guys will have to let me know what Hall & Oates song you want me to live stream. We'll do that. As soon as that song comes on, I'll hit a live stream so we can all rock out together to Hall & Oates. Arathane, thanks for $4.99. You should really check out the Variety interview with Jar Jar Abrams at D23. Good tip, thank you. Cecil says there's a volume knob on the Yeti. Turn it up. Well, I have. It's up all the way, Cecil. Let me see here. What if I do this? That's gain. Is that better? You guys tell me what you think of that. That might be, wow, it sounds better in my headphones. Dun, 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 dun. I'm looking at the chat and seeing what you guys think of that. People want to hear Rich Girl. Okay. I Can't Go For That's another good one. Yeah. Maneater. Way better. So, okay. All right. So it was just my gain knob. I turned it down because it's peaking in this headphone. But these headphones are cheap. I just like wearing them. Much better. Okay, gain is what you want. Okay, Adrian Stone, thank you. Yeah, so it was just a matter of my microphone, I guess. Cranberry Langers says they would need to care about the stories, and they don't. They don't care. Cars in Depth says, EVS, check out Humans of Flat, site about the rise of terrible, ugly design trends, similar to how SJWs and comics avoid idealized human shapes. And Orbital 1970 Goat says, Disney put all of their resources into The Mandalorian. Instead of episode 9. Well, is that true? I mean, that is kind of what it seems like at this point. I have to say, it does make me very, very sad to see that the movie is going to blow. And I have seen no evidence that there's going to be a Hutt in it. I wanted to see Rada the Hutt, son of Jabba the Hutt. There were rumors that he would be in it. I have not heard or seen anything about that yet. I'm still hopeful. People want to hear Out of Touch. Dr. Coffindale says, get headphones that aren't pieces of shit. I have so many headphones. Most of them are Bluetooth, though. Yeah. Tadawini says, I have a book on the art of Dave Dorman. Awesome artist. He sure is. He's a really good artist, and he does a lot of Comicsgate covers. All right, guys. Well, with that, I don't know. I guess I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to be up all night working. Make sure that I have... Wow, we got 1,932 people watching right now. That's huge. Absolutely love you guys. Appreciate you guys. If you wouldn't mind, if you enjoyed this show and would like to see more shows like this, hit that thumbs up button, please. It's simple. It's free. And if you're even nicer... would you please go over and check out the Vampirella Red Foil variant that is available right now, featuring Cyberfrog. It is the link to it is in the description. Back that comic, get a copy of that, and appreciate you. We are going to be doing. We are going to be launching the Cyberfrog trade paperback collection pretty soon, and that's going to be a new thing. So there's going to be a new cover, but it's going to have everything, every Cyberfrog comic. From the 1990s is going to be jammed into this unseen artwork as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Titus Muller says, how do you think they'll involve Palpatine in episode 9? Force Ghost, Palpatine, influencing Kylo Ren. I don't think he's going to be in it. I don't think he's still alive. It'd be interesting if he was still alive. But I don't think he's going to still be alive. I think it's just going to be his ghost. Everything is going to be about the ghost of good stuff that came before Titus. Luke Skywalker is going to be a ghost. He's barely going to be in it. Emperor as well. Darth Vader is even going to be in it, I think, from what I hear. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you all. And I'll see you again. I'll see you again tomorrow. Okay. Thanks.